Cloud networking startup Aviatrix announced a new distributed cloud firewall for Kubernetes this week. The goal is to help simplify communications between clusters and workloads, as well as ensuring everything stays secure. The new firewall is in the Aviatrix Cloud Networking Platform to allow organizations to deploy it effortlessly, especially when combined with hybrid deployments where applications are not able to be ported to Kubernetes. Now, we've heard a bit about this previously at field day events, or Aviatrix generally. But Tom, you're our networking and security expert. What do you think of the Aviatrix firewall?
I think it's a great leap for Aviatrix because one of the things that we see a lot in the cloud networking space is that it's not just plumbing that network. I mean, let's be honest. If Amazon or Microsoft had built a cloud environment that didn't have any solid networking in it, you probably wouldn't need to do anything with that cloud because nobody would want to buy it. But solid is not fully functional, and I go back to the reference of the network that was in the ESXi hypervisor when it first launched. Yeah, it was the network of all time, and that was about all you could say about it. And it took a long time until they could even get it functional to the point where it would integrate with a lot of other things. Flash forward to today, where you have all of these networks that are running through, Amazon, Microsoft, Google, what have you. And for Aviatrix, there is a huge opportunity here because, as we've seen in the past, they do a lot of things to help make that networking easier, especially when you're talking about doing it between a lot of different regions or things like that. But you have to have security integrated into that whole process. And so now what they're saying effectively is we're going to allow you to firewall down to the container level. That is a big step forward for companies, especially in the regulated industries that are looking to move into the cloud, because one of their biggest concerns is how do you meet all of those regulatory guidelines when all of your data is just sitting out there, freely accessible to anybody in the world? Well, we do it the same way we did when the internet didn't have NAT boundaries and everything was freely addressable. We provide ways to ensure that network paths don't extend too far into whatever we're talking about. And in this case, it's the applications. Because as you noted in the opening of the story, there are some apps that are never going to be able to be containerized. They are just too monolithic. They require too much special sauce, if you want to call it that, or there's no value in containerizing them, but they still need to be protected, especially if they live in the cloud. So by providing a containerized firewall that can kind of jump in front of it and say, okay, we're going to limit access to maybe like just front end to back end conversations, or maybe servers in this pod can talk to it, but nobody else. That's hugely valuable. Not only that, but because of the way that these devices and these systems provide audit logs, it allows you to be able to pull reports on demand, for lack of a better term, to provide to your auditors to ensure that you're not running into, regulatory concerns. So you get peace of mind that everything's protected. It's easy to deploy, so you're not like trying to nail up a whole bunch of crazy firewalls that don't all work together, and you can provide reports that prove that it works. I don't see a problem with this. And I think that it positions Aviatrix to compete with a lot of the other companies that are in that space in the market right now. We've covered a number of them on the rundown in previous episodes. So I'm kind of curious to see the direction that this takes Aviatrix, because I know they're kind of on a path to grow a lot in 2024 and beyond. And I think this is a good step forward to make sure that that happens.